Welcome to Wild Wacky Wonderful Humans. This is the podcast that celebrates the quirks, the courage, and the brilliance of being human. I'm your host, Jeanene Tracy, transformational coach and curious explorer. Let's dive in and uncover the magic of being wonderfully human. Welcome back to a very special episode of Wild Wacky Wonderful Humans. Today, I'm recording episode 20, but as you can see, I'm not recording it alone. I'm recording it with the incredible Des Drury. He is not only my partner in life, he's my partner in Wild Wacky Wonderful Us, and especially in Wild Wacky Wonderful Podcast. So Des has been working feverishly behind the scenes. He's the tech guy, he does the sound, the lighting, the editing. He sets the stage, he sets the scene, and he works tirelessly to create this very, very professional rendition of Wild Wacky Wonderful Humans. Welcome, Des.
Thank you for that amazing intro. First time behind the camera. Sorry, in front of the camera, I should say. So obviously the roles are reversed a little. I'm just kind of feeling my way into this. So I think what we were going to do is just kind of ask each other a couple of questions about how the podcast has gone so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question for you is, what's your favourite part of the process? You do quite a few different things. What's your favourite part?
Sure. I think I'm the tech guy, as I was introduced. So I think doing the tech...
He's more than that.
I love the filming and the editing and the process behind that. And especially the sound, I tend to obsess about the sound. I've tried many different sound plugins trying to get that radio voice. So get those dulcet tones. So yeah, I think I really love the editing. What about yourself? What would be the best part of the process for yourself?
I think for me definitely is being on camera and having incredible interviews with amazing guests. We've already had 8 guests recorded. We've published 6 to date, or 7 when this goes to air.
Yep.
And that to me is just sitting opposite a guest and having an incredible conversation that's raw and real and vulnerable. That to me is the key and the most enjoyable part of the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love the technical challenges as well, like people walking past and being very noisy. I don't know if they were caught on voice, but we'll find out.
He's the guy who edits this kind of stuff out, so let's see.
Yeah, I'll have to use a bit of AI to remove the vocals.
Absolutely. Now, Des, what has there been a moment or a period of time that has really set you off in laughter? Something that's been really, that's a quick response.
Oh, there's a really obvious one that comes to mind straight away.
Yeah.
So you had a guest, Trudy, and before she arrived, we were kind of checking out how it looked on camera in like the podcast nook that we've got where we live. Mm-hmm. And we kind of noticed that the shed, which is kind of visible through the window, is pretty ugly. It's really silver and it really stands out. So what we thought
we have an ugly silver shed.
We do have an ugly silver shed. So we thought we'd put some cardboard over it, just tape it up with like gaffer tape, just so you couldn't actually see the ugly corrugated silver shed. And we were a little concerned that it's not going to hold, but we kind of satisfied ourselves that it was okay. It was going to be fine. And then right in the middle of the podcast, it fell off. And you and Trudy both looked at each other at the same time and said in unison, "It's a shed." It was so funny.
That's awesome. We might need to embed that blooper into this.
Absolutely.
Or maybe
I think we should, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, we'll enjoy.
Still in London. Yeah. I saw one this year, actually.
Oh,
there goes you. Reveal! There's a shed.
What a beautiful moment. We thought that might happen, and there's your gift.
There you go.
Easter egg.
And for yourself,
for me, that's definitely been the funniest moment. I think there was another really funny moment that's related to the podcast, but it's not on air. And that's when we went on a Friday night to Officeworks.
Oh yeah.
And we bought a printer. We bought a portable printer. And when we got home, I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to stationery. And I think my family and friends know me as a stationery geek. When we got home, I created a mobile printer song.
I remember it well.
And I sent this video to my sister and my cousin, and my sister basically said, we're not friends anymore. So that's how funny it was. So that was a really funny moment for me. And the realization that, we are sharing, on a Friday night, we weren't out drinking or
Geek
partying.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
were geeking out on buying
In
a portable
Officeworks.
printer. So yeah, that to me was a really funny moment.
That was an awesome moment.
Yeah.
Made me crack up.
Yeah, it's so funny. So future,
Yeah, yep.
what's something wild and wacky that you would like to do on the podcast coming up? We've done 20 episodes now,
Yep,
so
we have. This is number 20.
yeah. What would you like to see wild or wacky?
I think wild, I was thinking about this, I would love to shoot in a spectacular location. This is beautiful here, but I don't know if anyone has seen the YouTube channel Circle, and they take a musician and they put them in a really spectacular scene, like somewhere in Iceland or in a desert, somewhere just like in a wilderness location. And they bring their crew in, the musicians and everything, and they do a gig. And it's just stunning. I would love to do a location like that. Maybe the top of a mountain.
Incredible. Yeah. I
And
love
what about
that.
yourself for wild or wacky? What would you like to do?
Something wild or wacky. I feel like, what comes instantly to mind is going into a location where there's some chaos or there's some wild event happening, and we're roving and interviewing people at an incredibly wild event. And so it's almost like a sub podcast or, like a subset of interviews that come out of this wild event. So I think that would be quite fun and wild. And,
Yeah, that
and it would
sounds
also
cool.
suit our personalities as well, going into this festival, whatever it is, invitations gratefully accepted. And just understanding, because, the core of this podcast is the humanity.
Yes,
and
it
so
is.
understanding the reason people do things that they do. So the reason people go to a wild, wacky festival, why are they there? What turns them on about it? What lights them up about it? I think that would be really cool to do.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
We've got to do it.
We've got to do it. Lock
Invites welcome.
And so Des, for you, what do you see? So we've done 20 episodes now. What do you see for the next 20?
From my part, being like the techie and working on the film and everything, I would just like to make it more and more professional. Like, better lighting and just multi-cameras, which we experimented with Fleur, and we had the 3 angles. So like I would love to up our game, make it look better and better. So yeah, that's me for the next 20.
Yeah, nice.
What about yourself?
That's a great vision for the future, because it is, all along we've been talking about how professional it's important for us to have this as a professional showing,
Yes.
a professional product, if you like. And, for me, the future is around bringing the wisdom into tangible, digestible information, or it's more than information though. It's about bringing the wisdom from guests and the wisdom from solos into a place where people can consume that information and make it matter. So this is not just about having a conversation. And our vision for the future is we're currently working on a website where each guest has their own bio page and their links and their quotes and the learnings that they brought to the podcast. And then each episode has a separate page as well where we talk about the episode itself and the learnings from that episode. And so for me, I really am passionate about bringing those learnings to life so that it's not just a conversation that existed when we interviewed somebody and then it dies in the water. We want to resurrect that and make that matter.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Our mission statement.
Yes. Wild, wacky, wonderful us. So yeah, I just wanted to thank Des as well, because he is, you know, he studiously works on the podcast and no one ever sees him. So I think it's really honourable to show up today, and thank you for showing up and for people to meet you and to see that this is not just a one-person band. You know, it takes an army to create something, right? At the moment, it's an army of two.
An army of one behind the scenes and one in front.
Yeah, and so, you know, there's a lot of things that we do that you wouldn't even know that we're doing. You know, creating the workflows and, you know, creating the way that we reach out to a potential guest, and then the process around that as well, to ensure that the guest has a professional experience as a guest on our show. You know,
so many things that are subtle and unseen, but collectively make it so good and so professional.
Exactly, even the LUTs.
Oh yeah, the look-up table, just to get the right look for the film. Yeah, it's another geeky thing that I've been working on.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really nice for you to show up today and for people to see that this podcast is not just me showing up and talking on a camera and then publishing it. There's so much more to it. There's the editing, there's the sound fixing as well. You know, you've had to fix a number of episodes as well.
I have, yes.
Changing the levels, which we might have to do on this one as well.
Yep, for sure.
Or you might have to do on this one
exactly.
as well. It's really good having a partner to be able to share this with, and, you know, to bring the best quality to you. So thank you, Des.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a part of this partnership.
Thank you for taking me on the journey. It's a wonderful journey.
It's been an incredible journey. And I'm going to continue to talk about the podcasts to date as well. So you can stay on, or you can...
I will leave you to it.
Okay, thanks, Des. So far, you know, as I mentioned, it's been 20 episodes. And I'll just check with the tech guy if I'm in the right location for this. I've been given the go-ahead. So, 20 episodes. What have I learned? I've learned so much. The first thing I learned was just do it. Nike were onto something when they said just do it, because you can procrastinate. And I remember I had a mentoring session with this woman who has a podcast. And I said, you know, I'm thinking about creating a podcast. And she said, just do it. What are you waiting for? She said, you'll do it. And then 10 weeks in, you'll say, why didn't I do this sooner? Because it's so much more simple than you realize if you're not fixated on perfection. And this is something that's really important, right? So many of us fixate on getting something right before we start. But it's only when we start that we can start to get it right, because we don't know what it looks like until we actually start doing it. We don't know what could go wrong. We don't know how it's going to play out. We can read every journal, we can read every guidebook, we can talk to everybody else who's done it, but we'll never truly know until we do it ourselves. And so that's one of the big learnings I've had from the podcast. Don't wait for perfection, get started. And perfection, it never really comes, but in some form perfection comes, right? So as long as you're not worried about being perfect. This is not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. And that's exactly the way I want it, because I'm human. And I don't want to pretend that I'm not. I don't want to pretend I'm perfect. And if the people who are listening don't like that, then they just won't be our listeners, and that's okay, because there's listeners for everyone. So get started. Stop procrastinating. What's something else I've learned? Another thing I've learned is that people crave community. People crave connection. All of my guests that I've had so far on the podcast talk about this. And it's been different for every single guest, how it shows up for them and how important it is for them, or how it plays out for them. And I think that's really important to take away, is that connection is important. Another thing I've learned is we aren't supposed to do this on our own, this life. You know, we are meant to share this life with people. And no one expects one person to do everything in a business. And I've done that. I've been there, I've done that. And it's so hard. It's so hard to be that person who does everything. It's okay to ask for help. Do ask for help. This is actually not only okay, it's essential. So that's another thing I've learned in this whole process, is that it's great to be in partnership. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a colleague, whether it's a business partner, find somebody, if it's somebody you can pay. Your time is valuable. If you can make $100 an hour and you can pay somebody $25 an hour to do something to take the workload from you, then it's worth weighing that up, right? If you can get stuff done, if you can get stuff on the table, on the screen, on the platforms, it's worth it. So that's been really, really valuable to me as well, is really understanding that it takes a village. So find the village, find the tribe. Another thing that I've learned throughout this whole process is really understanding why. Why am I doing this? Because when you understand why, it drives your decisions. When you don't know why, you flounder and you get lost in the confusion. So when I'm thinking about what guests do I want on the show, what style of conversation do I want, because I know my why, it makes it so much easier for me to make those decisions. Because I know my why, it's so easy to see what's right, or what's right for now. And that's another thing, right? What's right for now might be different later. And that's actually okay too. That's called progression. That's called growth. You know, we're currently in the growth phase of our podcast. And so we're in season 1, episode 20, and season 2 will come shortly. And in season 2, we're rebranding. You know, we're creating a new platform on the website, and it's really exciting because we're in the growth phase. So remembering that the decisions that we make now, it's better to make a for now decision than a never decision, because you get stuck in that. So really important to understand that we have, you know, growth phases. That's really key. What else have I learned from the podcast so far? I've learned that it's okay, and not only is it okay, but it's important to show up. There's been some days where I haven't really wanted to show up. I haven't really wanted to press record. And you'll see, when you watch the videos, you'll see, oh, gee, she looks a bit harsh. Should have brushed her hair. You know, there's days that I've turned up like that because I just wanted to turn up how I am. One of the things that are really important to me in the podcast is authenticity. And so I want to show up as me. I don't want to pretend to be someone I'm not. And so sometimes you'll see me flounder. Sometimes you'll see me grasping for concepts or grasping for words because I'm human. And this is just a conversation. And so that's been really important to me as well, is just showing up, even in my messy. And I've done that. It's been 20 episodes now. So yeah, I've shown up in my messy. I think that's probably enough for today. I feel so honored and so blessed to have you, wild, wacky, wonderful human, on this journey with us. Because without you, what is this? Without you, we are sharing our hearts to an empty platform. So I really want to say thank you for taking the time, because I know time is precious. I know you could choose so many different things to listen to watch, to spend your time on. And so I graciously accept your time. Dear, beautiful, wild, wacky, wonderful human, thank you. And I'm so excited about the next 20 episodes. Thanks for tuning in to Wild, Wacky, Wonderful Humans. If you had fun, share it with someone just as wild and wonderful as you. Stay wild, stay wonderful, stay wacky, and I'll catch you next time.